This is SJWs Attack for February 24th, 2017. One last really brief story before I break for a day. This one is stupid on two different levels. I'm going to be reading it from the BBC. Olathe shooting, India shocked after national killed. India has expressed shock after the fatal shooting of an Indian national in the US, amid reports that the attack may have been racially motivated. Now, these names I'm not going to be able to read out loud. There's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce that. But two gentlemen from India and an American were hurt in a shooting in a bar. This gentleman, Adam Kirantan, has been charged with premeditated first-degree murder. The killing dominated news bulletins in India and social media, where some blamed Donald Trump's presidency. Now, if it's some blaming Donald Trump's presidency, I don't see why they would bring it up. Where this gentleman lives in Kansas obviously has a reputation as less hospitable to foreigners than if you're in New York or LA or somewhere that's very multicultural. Obviously, there's going to be prejudices. What they seem to be indicating is that because you have a president who has, in their words, normalized prejudice in cultures, it's becoming okay for people to commit acts of violence against those who are not Americans, or not born American, or who are not seen as American. All of those fears are probably true, other than Trump, because he has very little to do with it. This type of thing happened before Trump. It'll happen after Trump. One of the gentleman's wives described her husband as a lovable soul. I guess they're trying to portray him as being innocent, but that's fine. I don't want anybody shot, so I'm sure he was innocent of anything. Speaking at a news conference, she described the U.S. as the country that he loved so much and called the shooting a hate crime. Okay, I don't know what she's basing that on, but sure. The FBI is now investigating possible motives for the crime at Austin's Bar and Grill, with race among them. Witnesses said that just before opening fire, the gunman shouted, "Get out of my country." A barman also told local media that the attacker used racial slurs before the shooting on Wednesday. Both Indian gentlemen, who were 32 years old, were engineers at U.S. technology company Garmin. Both studied initially in India and later postdocs in the U.S. The other gentleman, who is now out of hospital, one died. The white gentleman who was shot said he was shot while intervening to try and stop violence. He brushed aside suggestions that he was a hero and said he was just doing what anybody would do for another human, which totally makes sense to me. The suspect allegedly fled on foot and was arrested 5 hours later at a restaurant just over the state border. In Clinton, Missouri, he told the bartender that he had just killed two Middle Eastern men. I just wanted to demonstrate that this shows my biggest problem with all types of identity politics. On one side, you have the BBC and left-slanted media, as well as very almost certainly social justice warriors trying to use the death of this man in order to attack Donald Trump in the very beginning of this article. So it's not buried away, and I was seeing things about Trump being mentioned in it. One, I probably wouldn't have mentioned it anyways, because it doesn't make sense to me at all. But two, I wouldn't have had it in the goddamn beginning of the article. Craziness. It's like right there. The bias is right in the first few paragraphs. And it's not even slight. It's like, we're going to attack Trump as a result of this guy's death. It's sick. I can't even imagine the level of disgust it takes to attack a world leader in this way. It's crazy to me. I'm not his biggest fan, but that's disgusting. But I feel bad for the guy that died. I feel really bad for his friend who's also injured and still working there. I feel bad for the white guy who assisted and got shot. But again, the response to this should be grief and love and community support and all that type of thing, not going after people on both sides because of skin color and ethnicity. I just wanted to show that this channel that I'm using will be attacking idiots on both sides, the progressives that are trying to make political statements out of murders, and the idiots that are murdering people for identity politics. Idiocy all around.